Yo, what's up, Bleach fan? This is Rafa from C Manga, and I'm here to give you a review of chapter 548, The Thin Ice. Now, this chapter I really did enjoy it, because we've never seen a fight like this in quite a while. It was very well written out. There was a lot of skills and planning. It was kind of more interesting rather than just like, oh yeah, power versus power fight or anything like that. And yeah, I did enjoy it. I hope we see more like this in the coming Bleach chapters. The only problem I would say about this chapter was the beginning was a bit of a waste. Seeing Almeida panic was, kind of repetitive, sorry, because we've seen it before, and then Kubo pretty much reiterating the whole point of what a Shinigami is meant to do, because he was panicking. He was ready to literally leg it, run away, and his sister comes and basically seeing her made him regain his resolve. He tells her he's not going to run away. He's just basically going to go away to face the person to protect her. Then he'll be back, and that's what the Shinigami's job is to do. And then yeah, that was more or less it. The only interesting part I found was the Sternritter that stole Soifon's Bankai. He appeared in front of Omaida, and he more or less was like, he looked ready to fight. He was like, "You're the one who stole Soifon's Bankai," and maybe we'll see a fight between them two. I wonder how that will go down, because yeah, okay, Omaida is weaker than Soifon, and he's one of the weakest lieutenants, sort of anyway, and because he's a coward. But maybe if he bucks up now, and the fact that he knows he's captain, he might have an advantage because he should know how the Bankai works, and maybe you'll know, how to counter it or fight it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, then as I said, the interesting part was Hitsugaya's fight with that Sternritter Bazb. That was really interesting fight. That Bazb guy, you remember the one, letter H, he uses heat, so it's basically fire versus ice kind of chapter. And if you remember last time, Hitsugaya used some sort of ice technique to protect the Shinigami from getting burnt. And yeah, in this one he uses it again. Basically, Rangiku tells the Shinigami to flee while they handle the Sternritter. And the Sternritter is mocking him, saying, "Oh, you're the one who lost your Bankai to Can Do." And it's like, "Oh, I'm, Bazb, letter H, heat." And it's like, "We go well together." And it's like, indeed. It's like, he introduces himself as well as a 10th captain. So yeah, as they're getting ready, Rangiku offers to help Hitsugaya, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." It's like, I wouldn't be able to control it on my own. And with her mocking him a bit, saying it's cute that he needs her help. So anyway, she releases Hanako, and then she uses a technique, Hanako House, and then Hitsugaya covers the sands or the ashes with basically his ice, and that Bazb guy tries to melt it again, but this time it only melts like a bit of the surface of the ice layer rather than the whole thing. And he's like, "What's going on?" And Hitsugaya basically says it's a vacuum multi-layered ice wall, and he's saying that it was created by covering Hanako's ashes with his ice, and then when it returned to a short sword shape, it basically left a wall with multiple empty layers. So there's no way that ice can be melted. He goes on to explain that Honiraru, sorry, was one of the Bankais in the 13, of the 13 captains. That's basically, there isn't much power difference between Hishikai and Bankai. So he's saying Hishikai isn't that much weaker than his Bankai. He's saying the only difference is the amount of ice he can produce, which is very small in Shikai and a lot larger in his Bankai. So basically, what he's been doing and practicing all this time is learning how to fight with a lot less ice than he's used to. The guy uses it again, that Bazb, and he's like, "I'll melt it," and Hitsugaya just calmly standing there, and he's like, "You won't melt through this vacuum, because it's basically, it can't." I think it's to do with flames needing oxygen to burn, so obviously when it reaches there it just disperses because there's nothing for the no oxygen for the flames to burn. I'm assuming it's that, and obviously the ice will slow it down a bit. So yeah, it's failed again, and then Hitsugaya basically says, "Oh, you don't listen." It's like, "Let me hit you with a vacuum ice blade." and he pierces him with it, and it's sick. I'm sure that must have done a crap load of damage, and the chapter ends there. So yeah, this was a really good chapter. I hope Kubo starts writing like this more often, because this is what we need to see. Because it really was good. Artwork was on point as well, and I just like the fact that even though Hitsugaya doesn't have his Bankai, he's still not helpless. He know he's a captain. He's still got his strength, and he's using it well. Using his Shikai to its full advantage. So I like to see what the other captains are gonna do. That means, people like Byakuya, we can still see that he can use them on Sakura. It's just like it's gonna be a lot less than obviously his Bankai. So yeah, it looks like the captains aren't as helpless as they looked when they lost it. And they still got their Shikai. So that's good to see. Other than that, I like to just, that's about it. See what the other captains can do, and what the other lieutenants will be able to do in this next fight. And I just hope Kubo can do more like that. And other than, the same thing as I said before, I'd like to see Ichigo's new swords in action, and I'd like to see what the others in the Royal Realm are up to and when they're finished their training, and I'll be happy. Like I said, Kubo's done a good job today, and hopefully he can do the same in the following chapters. So that's about it for me. Chapter was really good. Can't really say much else. And what do you guys think? Leave your comments as usual to voice your opinions. What do you think of this chapter? What do you think will happen next? And what other captains will do? And also, if you like the video and the chapter, leave us a like, and so also subscribe for more content in this channel, and I'll speak to you guys later.